The business of music should not be limited to our local market. In fact, if you know your music, people abroad will be chasing you. And that is why I'm loving the story of the gentleman with me here on screen today. Everywhere in the world, he has been there, and he's been selling music made in Ghana. Today, we get to know his story and even his next stop around the globe. His name is Dela Botri. I am Sammy Flex, and I want to say thanks to Digital Rasta, and I have Digital Rasta, Currency, and Richie Flex. Now they are so popular in the world.
Yes, I will know them all.
Everybody comes in, they are the people they ask for. Where is Digital Rasta? Where is Currency? Yeah, they are the macho men in the world. Get ready for the real talk because we have more to talk about. But even before we start talking, the man will take us through a journey, what he does with the wind instrument. It is called the flute. And interestingly, in Ghana, mention the flute, and the next name that will come after him will be Dela Botri. Dela, take us through some gigs. And after that, we will start talking. Yeah. So what did you just play?
I'm just improvised. It's a new piece I just created.
You just improvised.
I always want to create music on the spot.
So it's not as if it's a rhythm you had?
No. You put me on the spot, so I had to come on the spot.
Okay, so I want to play a known rhythm, something
Yes.
that we can relate to. Any rhythm.
No
at all.
rhythm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know this one. I see. So, what is it about this that the whole world you are being looked out for? Everywhere they are chasing the Botri. What is it about this?
What makes this instrument unique is because it's a chromatic instrument,
Okay.
which a lot of people don't know the secret.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 10 years, 1979, I started playing Okotobrija Contra Troupe.
Mm-hmm. Okotobrija.
Okotobrija at Russia, probably.
Yeah.
That's where
I think
grew
I
up.
know that. Yeah.
Yes. So when we are playing, and sometimes the guitarist and the bass player, they change the key from C
Mm-hmm.
to G. I cannot play it because I don't know the secret.
Mm-hmm.
But may God bless the late Nana Danso Abiam,
Mm-hmm.
and then the late Efmamu, who invented the vertical attendement with a full note.
Okay.
It has 7 holes
Okay.
on it. It has 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7
Okay.
holes. So Nana Danso Abiam is the one who discovered the chromatic. So chromatics means that it's unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
You can play like this is a Western classical music.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been playing this song for years, so I don't even need to read the manuscript.
Okay.
So this is a music where you have to read music. You have to read it on the sheet.
Okay.
But this instrument is capable of playing the chromatic, which was discovered by the late Danso Abiam.
A Ghanaian.
So, a Ghanaian, may so rest. He actually formed the Pan-African Orchestra. And we are the pioneers of the Pan-African Orchestra. So when I joined the Pan-African Orchestra, my desire is to learn this chromatic thing very well, to understand the instrument, because it's an instrument that you can find a chromatic, but how to define it, you have to be serious about it. You have to learn very hard. To be honest, it got to a point where I don't even want to have a girlfriend.
Because of this instrument.
My focus is that I want to focus and learn and learn. I stopped making friends, and my focus is that I want to achieve this for Ghana and Africa.
Why was it difficult trying to master it?
It's very, very difficult instrument. You know, if you hold a Western saxophone and other instruments, you can see the chromatics already there. You can just push. But this one you have to determine by, you know, play some of your fingers have to be half. For instance, this is a C. C.
That the last three holes.
Yes, no, this is one. You count from the bottom.
Oh, okay. So at every point in time, the last one
is the first. You have to count. Is where you have your A, and this one becomes G, and this one becomes F, and this one is E, number 4. Then you move to the right hand. This one is just replacing here to give you the support, and this one will give you the D, and this one gives you C, and this one gives you the B.
I see.
So this is C and the C sharp, which is a half note, and this is the D, and this is the D sharp, and this is a E. Then you move from there, the tone to the semitone. You go to the F, then you go to F sharp, then you go to G, and you go to G sharp. You go to A, then A sharp is here. Then you go to B, you have the chromatic of C. So you can
now I'm mesmerized. So this is not just being played. You still play according to the keys as it is on the keyboard.
Of course. Everything you can find on a keyboard, the Western instrument, can be found in this traditional instrument. And that is what I wanted to do for Ghana and Africa. And that is why I keep on doing and traveling to show this instrument to the world.
So what is this called? This particular?
This is atenteben.
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 But the white will call it flute.
The white will call it flute. Yes.
Okay.
The white will call it flute because it's a wind instrument and it's like a pipe.
Okay.
You know, to them.
But in Ghana we
call it atenteben. Yes. But they have their flute, which is the horizontal one, which they play from the side.
I know.
Yes.
I know. So when you left everyone and you were concentrating on this, how long did it take you before you were able to master that? Even if you close your eyes, you can still play it.
I think 4 years.
It took 4 years.
4 solid years. I'm still learning.
To learn this small instrument. 4 years.
4 years to become master how to read music, because if you don't read music, you can't do what I'm doing with the instrument.
So this particular one, did you create it yourself or
no?
You bought it somewhere?
I have to buy it from Sika. It was Sika was taught by the late Efumamu, so he's the one producing the instrument now. But I don't want to take it from him to produce it, because if I start to produce, then he doesn't have more job. So I want to buy it from him so that he can also make some money. So
there is someone in Ghana creating this?
Yes.
Do we have more people creating this, or there is only one person?
It's one of the. There are more people doing it, but when you do it, it's not in tune as Sika's own, because Sika was taught by the late Efumamu himself, and he's still alive. But my fear is that we need to have a lot of people doing it for Ghana, because it's a national instrument. I think the government have to focus. You know, I went to represent Ghana with this, and everybody, about 3,000 crowd in Cuba. I went with the former minister S.K. Boafo, and everybody.
You went to Cuba for a performance?
Yes, I went to represent. I was sent by the ministries, and he was there to represent the government. I'm there to represent the
now Dela, I have so many questions.
Yeah.
So for instance, when you travel out and you are performing with this, I know they would have to put in some cables, or they would have to add some wires to connect to their machines. How do they do it?
Or with this one, what I need is microphone.
Oh, you play into a microphone?
Yeah, the sound comes from here, the bottom here, from the cork. When you blow from the cork, the sound passes here. So you need a microphone, or you need a, how do you call it, the
lapel mic.
The lapel mic. That's the only thing you need.
Oh, okay. So when you go there, they don't use any jack to connect to their system.
No, they don't use any
It is
jack.
just a microphone, either the lapel or the standing microphone.
Exactly.
And you are good to go.
Yes.
But so like you said, they have their modernized instrument.
Yeah.
When you go and they give you that one, will you be comfortable playing it, or you would want this traditional bamboo stick?
Thank you for asking this question. A lot of people have convinced me that, oh, I should play the saxophone, I should play other instruments, but I said, I would love to do that, but if I do it, who else? Keep this one. You know, the question is that this is Ghana. This belongs to us. Saxophone doesn't belong to Ghana.
Okay.
So if I stop playing the atenteben and playing the Western saxophone, that means I'm leaving the atenteben behind. Ghana is not being recognized. But I've been recognized through the atenteben, and it's not only me. When you mention my name, you mention Ghana.
Exactly.
You mention Ghana, you mention atenteben, you mention a lot of things that goes with, that come from the instrument. So I cannot stop playing atenteben. I want to keep the atenteben. Those who are playing the saxophone can keep on playing the saxophone and the trumpet and other instruments. But I want to present.
But do you know how to play the saxophones and the trumpets?
Yeah, I know the basic. I know the basic, but I don't want to develop.
Because I know it is also the same kind of formula. It is still the fingers and the wind.
It is a little bit different from this one. Saxophone has its own. The sharp notes is there ready for you to press. If you want to play the higher octave, the moment you press, it gives you the sound already. But this one, you have to determine the sound. For instance, if I want to play C lower octave, this is C lower octave. Now I want to play C mid range or the second octave. I have to increase the air. If I want to play the higher one, you see, so you are controlling the instrument with your breath.
With your breath. Okay.
But you need to gather more energy before pushing it. Other than that, I can't bet you.
I know. So this is just a normal bamboo stick.
It's a normal bamboo stick.
And the only one that can give you the best tune or the best sound is one person in Ghana.
Well, by the grace of God, because it's my determination. And sometimes I see, I cannot. I remember way back when I started playing this instrument, I realized that no. In everything you do in life is not a choice from you. Okay. It is given to you by God, but you have to determine it. You have to, because if you don't love the instrument, why do you go for it? I love the instrument that this is what I want to do in the rest of my life. That is my determination that this is what I want.
But can you also create this? When giving the bamboo stick like this, can you create your own thing out of this?
I can do it.
You can do it.
I can do it.
Okay.
I can create a non-musical instrument. Like for instance, your cups here, I can make music out of it. And which is not, for instance, if I have any, even your bottle here, I can even, if I hear the drone tone of the sound, I can make music out of it.
Okay.
Without using the real musical instrument. What I need is the drone tone, the first note that can give me the ostinato. When I talk about ostinato, is a circulating sound that can be in a rhythm like pam 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 pam. So I'm having a drone tone to make a sound out of it.
I see. My guest here on the Real Talk today is called Dela Botri, and of course he has been living on this instrument for the past years. That is what he does, and around the world he is known. So how were you discovered by the white people? How did that journey start, the international journey? How did it start for you?
In 1994, I had a chance to travel with the Pan-African Orchestra to the UK. So that was the first exposure that I had, but it's not with my own Hiwale Sounds band.
Okay.
But when I came back, I think I was, I remember very well that Benso Rest, again, the late Nana Danso Abiyam, anytime he travel or something, he want to dissolve the group, and when he comes back and call the people to come back again.
Okay.
And I don't want that. I want to be more consistent to perform music all the time. Because it's something that I choose that I want to do. If I go and sit down in the house, somebody will ask me, oh, you're not going to work. And I feel shy, and because I'm a very hard-working person. So I decided to form my own group. And from that time, 1995 to now, And 1996, I approached Professor Kitia about what I'm doing. So he gave me several flutes for me to try. Give me a droja bar. It's also the same traditional flute, somewhat made by PVC.
PVC pipes.
Yeah, so I play all of them. So he wanted me actually to come and teach the students at the university. But I told Prof that I have a group and I cannot do without the group. The group is my future. So he said, okay, then we should wait a little bit. He's traveling. When he come back, he will invite the group to come and play an audition concert. So we play audition concert, I think on the 28th of June 1996 at the drama studio of the University of Ghana, and he employed a group. So we based there until 1998. You know, Sharon Katz is one of the renowned South African singer who came to Ghana. She's a guitarist as well. So she discovered that No Hewale Sounds is a group that needs to be recognized internationally. So she talked to Prof and we applied for, I think, one of the conferences in South Africa called ISME, International Society for Music Education. So they invited the group. I think we were 12 of us by then. So we all participated in the festival and it was so amazing. That was the first attempt. So when we came back, we had a chance to travel to, we were selected actually, apart from the Pan-African Orchestra, which was the first group travel to Massa Music Festival in Côte d'Ivoire. Hewale Sounds was the second group to perform, invited to perform in Côte d'Ivoire. And it's one of the big platforms that when you perform, there are a lot of booking agents that are coming around the world are coming to see. If they like you, they sign you immediately from there.
So for how long have you been managing the Hewale Band?
For me, started managing from 2004 myself.
From 2004.
But when we used to be at the University of Ghana, it was under the University of Ghana, but I'm still the senior resident artist. Yes, the group is under me.
So you started performing at the University of Ghana, or you started doing?
No, Hewale Sounds became an residence group.
For the university.
For the university.
So those who came for exchange programs,
yes,
you guys were teaching them.
We were teaching them, yes, and playing for them.
Yes. Until you moved it away from the university.
Yes.
And you started doing it as a commercial band for yourself.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
And that one has been about for the past
I think 14 years.
14 years.
14 or 15.
So when you are being called, for instance, I know your next trip, you're going to Paris. So all the people in France, you should wait for Dela Botri. He's coming to France to perform for you. Do you travel with all the band or you go alone?
With this particular trip, I'm going alone. But I'm going to join other musicians that are there already. Yes. I think I remember I told you. Sometimes it depends, like when I went to Egypt, I was called alone as a flute player to join various musicians from across the continent. Some are from Uganda, Zambia, and Kenya, Ethiopia, and the rest. But they need a flute from Ghana, so I have to go and represent Ghana with that aspect. It's the same thing is happening in Paris.
I see. So where have you performed so far? Which of the platforms have you performed around the world that you think, it is worth noting, the people should know, or the world should know about it?
I think I performed at the Nobel Peace Prize concert.
Nobel Peace Prize concert?
Yes. I was on stage with Angelique Kidjo.
In which country?
In Norway.
In Norway,
Yes, I was there with Eric Antonio, the keyboardist, and also Akable on the guitar. With I think from there the Royal Dutch Conservatory invited me, myself, and then Dudunia Rose is one of the may so rest. He passed, I think, 3 years ago. He passed away, and Peter Erskine.
The story is an interesting one, and we cannot end it until we've gotten to know all the platforms he's performed at. And he was talking about a certain Peter Erskine.
Yeah, Peter Erskine is one of the renowned jazz drummers. I performed with him, and Dudunia Rose from Senegal. He passed away 3 or 4 years ago. And also for me, I think we had three guests around the world because we wanted to have something for the world and Holland, doing a collaboration with this big jazz project. So I was then teaching at the conservatory at the same time, and to perform at the same time. It's part of the contract.
I see.
Yes.
Now, I know when you go out, you don't only perform, you also teach. Around the world, which universities or which countries have you also been teaching?
I taught the Royal Dutch Conservatory in Holland for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Contract. I have a 5 years contract with them.
Was it the state that sent you there, or it was an individual contract you had?
The first one, I think it was an individual. The director of the conservatory invited me, but I was recommended by the late Professor Nketia, of course.
Okay.
I always want to give him the credit for that. And then some rich man who is called Josh Olinos was the one who sponsored for my flight, an apartment where they put me. I really enjoy the place very much.
In Holland, yeah?
Yes. They put me 3 houses to the Queen's Palace.
Wow.
Yes, very expensive road. Yes. Very, very, very expensive. And I really enjoy. Yeah.
But then you see, you do all these things around the world.
Yeah.
And in Ghana, I'm sure when we put you on the street of Soto, few people can recognize that, oh, this is Dela Botri, only those who are following music. What is it? Why is that difference? In Ghana, we are not seeing the importance, but elsewhere people are paying huge amount of money just to have you.
Yeah. For me, I think that the trend of the music in Ghana is changing, because sometimes we are embracing too much of foreign culture.
Okay.
We can embrace it, but we don't have to forget ours. Recently, I listened to Stonebwoy playing, my younger brother Stonebwoy playing the new song. I really love the song. I remember I sent it to you. I said,
yes,
if all the youth will follow this trend, Ghanaian music will change like this. Because the kind of brand of music they are portraying in Ghana is not original Ghanaian culture. Every country has its own culture. We have to believe in where we are coming from. So, I mean, to be honest, I'm an Akan. I'm Ewe. You cannot speak Ewe more than me. I will speak Ewe more than you, even if you can speak Ewe. You can speak Fanti or Akan language more than me.
Okay.
Because everybody has his own. God share everything for us too, but we shouldn't be too much greedy by trying to copy something from outside and ignore what belongs to us.
Okay.
You know, to be honest, high life is a Ghanaian commercial music. We have the traditional high life music, we have the secular high life music, and we have the traditional music from all the 16 regions. And these rhythms are more polyrhythmic. When I say polyrhythmic, it means complex.
Okay.
You know, all this music that they are playing today, when I listen to them, as my understanding of music, if you hear the snare, it goes to cha 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 to some nines chord and thing. It's very what we call common time. It's common, very common. You see, if you want to put in the structures, the measure of the bar or counting the bar in music is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 cha 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 cha. Every bupa cha cha is 1 bar, 2 cha cha, 1 bar, 2 cha cha, 2 bar, 2. So what is that rhythm? What is the complexity of our music? For instance, if you go to the northern part of Ghana, where our brother Black Rasta is coming from, they have this Bambaya rhythm. It's the same 4/4 counting, but there's a little complexity in the rhythm. If you think about what they are playing today, it's Malago rhythm. For me, as musicologist musician, it's Malago rhythm. Ba 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 ba. Anu da. Beke bi bi o ba da e Malago e machine wo fe ko. Anu lo. Now let's sing one of the young one song. I don't know some of the song.
Let's sing Shatawale.
Okay, baby. 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 This, the timing or the rhythmic pattern is one rhythmic, something we call rhythmic pattern that symbolizes the kind of style of music you are playing. It's a universal language, rhythm that you can find in the Caribbean. The salsa, the son, and the bachata, you find them in the slow or the mid or the fast tempo. You find them there. But if we can define the name to it and say, okay, now we want to play, your friend say, ABR, Panago dance or and whatever. You know, we can create a lot of things that will make it ours. We can claim it from the Jamaicans to make it ours. But if we want to play what belongs to them, there's no way we can penetrate that market. There's no way. Americans have their hip hop. If you mention hip hop, the country that comes to your mind is America. If you mention high life, what comes to your mind? Ghana. If you mention Juju music, what comes to your mind? You know, Zulu music is coming from West South Africa. You know, Arabic music is coming from the northern part of Arabic world. But every country, every continent, for instance, the sub-Saharan of the West Africa, we are more blessed with more rhythmic, polyrhythmics, and melodic instruments like the kora, like the flute, like the goje, basenko.